You ever wonder what items will actually cause chaos when everything falls apart? It's not gold, not even ammo. It's the dirt cheap stuff. The kind you've walked past 100 times in the store without blinking. But after the collapse, that same $3 item becomes a reason to shout, push, maybe even throw punches. We've all seen the previews, right? The empty shelves during the pandemic, the supply chain warnings. Those weren't flukes. They were practice runs. When the music finally stops, it's not the flashy survival gear that causes conflict. It's the simple household basics that suddenly become priceless. People get desperate, but it's not just about food. It's about what happens next. The collapse of hygiene, of basic repairs, of the simple things that keep you healthy and sane. Today, we're counting down 7 of those overlooked products. The ones you'll wish you grabbed before the crowds turn desperate. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. This channel doesn't push fear. We just share hard-won lessons and smart ideas. If you've got one of your own, drop it in the comments. Because when things go south, sharing knowledge is the only thing more powerful than being prepared. Number 1. Water containers. No matter how much you prep, if clean water disappears, everything else falls apart. But in a full-blown collapse, it's not just the bottled water people will rush for. It's the empty containers themselves, specifically gallon-sized jugs or collapsible carriers with tight sealing caps. Here's why. Once you run out of your stored water, you have to get more. Maybe from a rain barrel, a stream, or an aid truck. But without a safe, sealable container to carry it, you're stuck. FEMA constantly stresses the importance of clean storage, yet no one stocks the containers. They just focus on the water. During major hurricanes, people lined up for water deliveries with nothing to put it in. Some used trash cans or old laundry bottles, all unsafe, all prone to leaks. The smart ones showed up with clean, dry jugs. And guess what? The stores had already sold out of them. This is where collapsible containers are genius. They fold down to nothing. So you can store a dozen of them in a shoebox. You can carry 5 empty ones in a backpack. And haul back 25 gallons if you have a cart. That's a game changer. Don't wait for that scramble. When your bottled water runs out, and your filters take time, having containers means you have options. Without them, you're just standing in line, hoping someone else brought extras. Number 2. Manual soap foamer bottles. In any crisis, dirty hands can become deadly. After a flood, an earthquake, or a blackout, it's poor hygiene that spreads sickness. Hand washing isn't a suggestion. It's a critical defense. But what happens when one bottle of liquid soap has to last for months? This is where the foamer bottle becomes a force multiplier for your preps. This isn't about luxury. It's survival math. A manual foamer works by mixing a tiny bit of liquid soap with water and air. You can dilute your soap 5-to-1, even 10-to-1, and it still creates a cleansing foam. This simple trick stretches one bottle of soap into what feels like 10. It extends the life of your most critical sanitation supply. When others run out of soap completely, you'll be able to keep your family's hands clean, drastically cutting your risk of getting sick from things we barely even think about today. These will vanish fast. First, the preppers who know will grab them. Then, once scarcity hits, everyone else will realize these little pumps are the key to making supplies last. A simple $5 bottle becomes the tool that keeps a family healthy. People will trade food for something that's practical. Number 3. Waterproof Gorilla Tape. Number 3 is a prepper classic. But the specifics matter. We're not talking about just any duct tape. You need heavy-duty waterproof Gorilla Tape or an equivalent. In a world without repair shops, where everything you own is on its last legs, you are the maintenance man. This tape is your ultimate multi-tool. Why will it cause fights? Because its uses are almost endless. After every natural disaster, this stuff flies off the shelves. Got a leaky roof in a storm? This tape creates a waterproof seal, even on wet surfaces. A tear in your bug-out bag? Patched. A broken window letting in the cold? Sealed. Standard duct tape fails when it gets wet. This stuff is made for extreme conditions. It sticks to rough wood, wet tarps, and cracked plastic. People will figure out fast that their cheap dollar store tape is useless for real problems. The demand for high-quality, truly waterproof tape will explode. One roll can solve a dozen critical problems. It's the ability to hold your world together when everything else is falling apart. Number 4. Thermal emergency curtains. Next up is an item that uses simple physics to save your life. Thermal emergency curtains, also known as Mylar space blankets. When the grid goes down, your central heat and AC are dead. Staying warm in the winter or cool in the summer becomes a full-time job. In the winter, you tape these over your windows, reflective side in. The material reflects your body heat back into the room instead of letting it escape through the glass. It creates a thermal barrier that can make a critical difference, especially in a smaller, sealed-off room. In the summer, you just reverse it. Reflective side out. It blocks the sun's heat from getting in, keeping the room significantly cooler. This is a life-saving tool in a world with no power. It means you burn less firewood to stay warm, conserving a precious resource. People will fight over these because the effect is immediate. When you're freezing in your own house, a roll of this material is the most valuable thing in the world. It's lightweight, cheap right now, and takes up almost no space. It's a simple solution to one of a collapse's most dangerous problems. All right, we're a little over halfway through. We've covered water, hygiene, repairs, and staying warm. If you're finding this practical information useful, do me a favor and drop a comment below. What's one cheap household item you believe is priceless tomorrow? I read all the comments, and your ideas help all of us get better prepared. This is how we build a community of ready minds. Now, let's get back to the final 3. Number 5. Stackable food-grade buckets with gamma seal lids. Item number 5 is about protecting the foundation of your preps, your food. I'm talking about stackable food-grade buckets, and specifically, the ones with gamma seal lids. Everyone knows to store rice, beans, and oats, but just having the food isn't enough. You have to protect it from water, pests, and mold. The food-grade part is critical. It means no nasty chemicals will leach into your food. But the real magic is the gamma seal lid. Unlike a normal snap-on lid you have to pry off, a gamma seal is a 2-piece system with a ring and a screw on top. It creates an watertight seal that's also incredibly easy to open and close. No more wrestling with a lid and breaking the seal every time. This makes rotating and actually using your food stores practical. When the stores are empty, a 5-gallon bucket of rice is a treasure chest. Protecting it is everything. These buckets and lids become a flashpoint because their value is obvious. Anyone with a 50-pound sack of grain will get desperate for a way to keep it safe from rats and moisture. These are the difference between a secure food supply and a pile of contaminated waste. Number 6. Heavy-duty manual can openers. Number 6 is so simple it's almost insulting. But without it, a huge part of your food supply is useless. It's the heavy-duty manual can opener. Think about it. The average prepper pantry is loaded with canned goods, but every one of those cans is a locked metal box. Your fancy electric can opener? A brick without power. That cheap, flimsy opener from the dollar store? It'll break after opening a dozen cans, if you're lucky. The tiny P38-style openers are fine for a pack, but not for feeding a family every day. You need a robust, all-metal swing-away or a similar design our grandparents used. Imagine the desperation of being surrounded by food you can't open. You'd trade almost anything for a tool that works. That's why you don't need one. You need 3 or 4. One in the kitchen, one in your bag, and a couple more stored away. They're cheap, take up no space, and are absolutely essential. When all that's left is canned food, the person with the can opener is the one who eats. Number 7. Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. Finally, number 7. This is for those who are serious about making food last for the long haul. Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. If buckets are for the food you use regularly, Mylar is for food you want to forget about for a decade or more. Mylar blocks light, moisture, and air, the 3 enemies of stored food. When you seal a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber inside, you remove the oxygen. This stops bugs and bacteria from growing and preserves the food's nutrition for years, in some cases for 20+ years for things like white rice and beans. Why will these spark conflict? Because as a crisis drags on, people will see their food supplies spoiling. The bags of flour will get weevils. The rice will go bad. They'll realize too late that their investment is turning to dust. At that point, the tools for proper long-term storage become priceless. A roll of Mylar bags and a box of oxygen absorbers will be worth more than the food itself because they represent the power to MDPPS. They are the key to turning today's scavenged goods into tomorrow's security. It's a level of preparedness most won't even consider until it's far too late. So there you have it. 7 ordinary items that become extraordinary treasures when the systems we rely on fail. Water containers, soap foamers, waterproof tape, thermal curtains, gamma-lidded buckets, manual can openers, and Mylar bags. Notice the theme? They're all simple, robust, no power required solutions to the fundamental problems of survival: water, hygiene, shelter, and food security. Being prepared isn't about fear. It's the calm, rational process of taking control. It's about seeing the weak points and quietly building your own safety net. Every one of these items you get today is a piece of self-reliance for your family. The time to get them is now, while they're cheap, available, and nobody's fighting over them. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe and share this with someone you care about. Building a prepared community is our greatest strength. Stay safe and stay prepared.